Hello and welcome to the show. I am Joe Tophat. Like a lot of people, I was first introduced to Dick Tracy through the Warren Beatty movie. It was okay. It, it had nice sets and a nice look and nice colors, but the story was not particularly interesting. And this really isn't a review of the movie itself. There was just one thing from the movie I want to talk about. The blank. Dick Tracy is known for his villains, and this movie had just about every major villain he ever faced. But the one that stuck out to me most was the blank. Unlike Flat Top and Prune Face, he had a very simple design. He dressed all in black and had no face. But that's what intrigued me about him. He had no face. What is he hiding? Who is this guy? And he was mysterious to begin with, and the fact that he had no face just added to that mystery. My interest in the blank wasn't just his appearance. It was also the fact that you didn't really know whose side he was on. One minute he's framing Dick Tracy for murder, and next he's basically trying to screw over Big Boy. So he was against the good guys and the bad guys. And one thing I really looked forward to was seeing what he looked like behind the mask. Seeing all these grotesque-looking villains, he had to be even more grotesque. What did he look like? What was his motivation for doing what he did? Come on, show it. What did he look like? Seriously? The blank, this very awesome character, was Breathless Mahoney the whole time? And her motivation was that Tracy didn't accept her advances? What the? This was something that didn't sit well with me as a kid. It was because her motivation was so lame. This character was very interesting, from his appearance to going against everybody, and yet it was all reduced down to a woman who felt rejected by a man. So, for years I assumed that this is how it was. I wasn't aware of the comic at the time. It wasn't until I became an adult that I started reading the original comic by Chester Gould. If you haven't read it, it's very interesting. Unlike the movie, the comic is basically about Dick Tracy dealing with these villains one at a time, and also the horrible ways they die. But there was one thing I found interesting about the blank and Breathless Mahoney as opposed to the movie. The blank was a man, yes, a man, named Frank Redrum, or murder spelled backwards. He had been disfigured in prison, but had escaped and was seeking revenge on his gang for what had happened to him. As for Breathless Mahoney, well, boy was she different. Unlike her movie counterpart, she was not a singer, nor did she have any romantic interest in our hero Dick Tracy. She was the stepdaughter of Shaky, one of the few villains not to be featured in the movie, and had received his ill-gotten money after he died. With this money, she goes on a spending spree and even turns against her own mother to try to keep it all for herself. So not only was the Blank and Breathless Mahoney two different characters in the comic, they also came out in two different decades. What did Frank Redrum look like behind the mask? Wow, that's pretty grotesque looking. Yeah, I know compared to today's standards, it's tame, but compared to what we got in the movie, yeah, big difference. I feel the problem with the movie was that Warren Beatty had a relationship with Madonna at the time, and so she was given center stage in this movie where, by all rights, she shouldn't have gotten, and in the process ruined two great characters. For years, Warren Beatty has stated he wanted to make a sequel to the 1990 movie. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything in pre-production right about now, but if he does make one, I would say he should do one in CG, but not necessarily a sequel to the 1990 movie because, well, let's face it, many years have passed and it's not exactly a classic in the way that the 1989 Batman movie was. So, he should do a CG movie where he voices Dick Tracy, and if he includes the blank, don't make him Breathless Mahoney, make him Frank Redrum, as Chester Gould had originally imagined him. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the blank. Now, let me know in the comments section what you guys think, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.